Russell Westbrook technically has been traded to the Utah Jazz, with Kris Dunn heading to the Los Angeles Clippers as a part of that deal. However, the Utah Jazz, they're expected to actually buy out the last year of Russell Westbrook's contract, and according to Woj, Russell Westbrook is ultimately going to end up with the Denver Nuggets. Now, this move was actually blessed by Nikola Jokic, who, per Harrison Wind of DNVR Sports, Jokic signed off on this deal for Westbrook to come to Denver. Now, we heard recently GM Calvin Booth as well as Coach Michael Malone, they both said that they needed to add a longtime guard, a veteran guard, because that's actually what Michael Malone trusts more. We saw during the postseason, some of his bench players, they just would not get minutes. So it would be left up to really KCP, Jamal Murray, and Jokic trying to formulate this entire mess. We even saw, Michael Porter Jr. tried to chip in here. Aaron Gordon had one nice game, but in total, bench, especially the younger bench players, didn't get a lot of playing time. Here comes Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, he's 35. I think everybody could fully acknowledge that he's past his prime at this point. He's kind of just going from team to team to team. And guess what? He was on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then he went over to Houston. Then he went over to the Wizards. Then he went to the Lakers. Then he ended up with the Clippers. And now here he is on the Denver Nuggets, or will eventually end up on the Denver Nuggets. Well, the Denver Nuggets recently, in recent history, has lost some of their top-tier guards. We had Reggie Jackson. He went to the Charlotte Hornets last year. And also, they lost KCP to the Magic. Those are two pretty significant losses because not only is it a bench piece, you also lost a starting piece. A guy who averages, and I have the number here, last year, KCP with Denver, the totality with Denver, 2 seasons, he averaged 10.4 points, 46% from the floor, and 41.5% from 3. Those are massive numbers for a team that, in total, isn't that good at shooting the 3. Last season, they were 30th in three-point attempts and 25th in three-pointers made. So this is not a good three-point shooting team whatsoever. They don't take enough. And I'm not saying that they should become the Boston Celtics. This team isn't built to become the Boston Celtics. But you know what? Adding more threes could definitely help you extend gaps, not have, Jokic and Murray keep having to drive to lane, Aaron Gordon dunking the ball, Michael Porter Jr., he couldn't hit a mid-range shot for the life of him. But here comes Russell Westbrook. I do think this is a very, very good pickup for them because it adds a couple things. The first would be, and I don't expect him to start. I like Christian Braun exactly where he is as the starting shooting guard. I think that's a perfect spot for him. He actually came in during their championship run and had some quality minutes in the playoffs. Like we said, Michael Malone doesn't trust a lot of his players in the playoffs, but I do think that in the playoffs, that championship run year, he did a perfectly fine job. But at least if Russell Westbrook does come off the bench, he will bring a spark that the Nuggets absolutely need. He doesn't have a mid-range jumper. He used to, and he used to be very, very good, especially at volume. He used to be a very good mid-range shooter. Hell, he could even shoot the 3 pretty well. But recently, that just hasn't been the case. Russell Westbrook has not been the shooter he once was, but he does bring energy. He also brings a body that his explosiveness is still there. Sometimes it's sporadic, sometimes it's deadly in the case of turnovers after turnovers after turnovers. But when used correctly and limiting possessions, Russell Westbrook has been a perfectly fine point guard. He'll be a backup point guard. But let's just say he's out there with Jamal Murray, with Nikola Jokic. That, I believe, is a perfect setup for him. Coming off the bench, giving him limited minutes, and actually limiting his possessions, or at least using them in a tactical way where he's not driving to the lane and creating these mistakes like we saw with the Lakers. If you could use it opportunistically, meaning Nikola Jokic gets a rebound, Russell Westbrook's breaking free on the other side of the court, easy layup. We saw, at least I personally saw it against the Heat 2 years ago against the Knicks. I was at Game 1 and 5. Game 1, that's what Kevin Love was doing basically the entire second half. At least the opening to the second half, excuse me. Kevin Love, we just saw whoever it be, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, whoever, go down to the other side of the court, Kevin Love rebound, full court pass, easy layup. That's a motivational killer. You look like you're up by a couple points, and lo and behold, Kevin Love's just shooting it to the other side of the court. That's what I think Jokic could do because, let's be honest here, Nikola Jokic is one of the best passers in the league. And that's especially shocking because he is a big man. Big men generally, at least over the history of the NBA, have not been excellent passers. And I think really he's the only dynamic passer on the Nuggets. I think Aaron Gordon, he's a perfectly fine passer. Jamal Murray, perfectly fine passer, but definitely not at the level of Nikola Jokic. Russell Westbrook's also a pretty good passer if he's safe with the ball. Let's be honest here. Because we saw with the Lakers, he wouldn't know what to do with the ball. He'd drive, look, either take an awkward shot or just dish it, 3 rows up. So if you could use him in key moments, getting that nice little spark of energy, a little burst of energy, whether it be driving to the lane, drawing some attention, kicking it out to Jokic, or kicking out to Murray to hit a shot or the mid-range or three, that will help you big time. You did not have that type of energy. You did not have that type of attention when it comes to being able to draw defenders away, because all the defenders would go to Nikola Jokic. The defenders would go to Jamal Murray, try to slow them down. Now, and by the way, the one time, and the reason why this would work, where if they double Murray, Jokic will be open. If they double Jokic, Murray would be open. Now you can't really double those guys because you will have Russell Westbrook driving to the lane and creating shots, whether it be in the corner, top of the key, whatever the case may be. And the one time that we actually saw the Nuggets look pedestrian was against the Minnesota Timberwolves when Jokic was up against the Defensive Player of the Year, and they didn't have to double Jokic at all. They didn't have to double Murray because they were the number one defensive team in the regular season in the entirety of the NBA. So now you add Russell Westbrook, who drive to the lane, kick it out, generate shots. His shooting ability is gone. His main production scoring-wise, and I don't think, truthfully, there'll be a lot of opportunities for him to score, but I do think that if used correctly, and I'm going to keep saying that because he's a very volatile player. What we saw with him on the Lakers was LeBron wanted him, brought him in. He was going to be one of their scorers, one of their key pieces on offense. And it didn't really work out that well. And that's the thing with Russell Westbrook. He sort of adapted through different phases of his career. Early on with the Thunder, it was him and KD. Then Harden, that didn't last very well. But he put up triple-doubles. And then with the Rockets, it's like, oh my God. Triple-double, triple-double. Then the Wizards, another triple-double season, another All-Star game. Another All-Star appearance. But since then, it's been, well, what is Russell Westbrook? Because when he came to the Lakers, it was, okay, he's going to act the same way he always has. Triple-double guy, main part of an offense, and then it was like turnover, missed three, missed mid-range shot, driving to the lane, doesn't know what to do with the ball. Does he pass it? Does he shoot it? What does he do? And then eventually the Lakers put him on the bench, a little bit disgruntled because, like, I was an all-star. I was a several-time all-star. Hell, I was an MVP. I'm a triple-double guy. I lead the NBA in triple-doubles all time. And then it's, okay, this is my role. Then he goes over to the Clippers. The Lakers let go of him. Then he goes to the Clippers, and it's like, oh, no, this is my role. I'm a bench player. I'm a situational guy. I come in. I play about 25 up to 30 minutes, I think would be a little bit pushing it, but let's say upwards of 30 minutes. And then that's kind of his role now. Now, in the Nuggets, it'll kind of be the similar thing. But honestly, Russell Westbrook on the Clippers was not bad. He was actually pretty good defensively because he could definitely stay in front of his man, which is big. Keep a hand in that face. Create a barrier for someone to drive into. And I think that his increase in defensive effectiveness kind of was a sacrifice he had to make for his offensive production because his offense was really declining. So if you transition your mind from offense to defense, your offensive production obviously will have to, give up a little bit. So focus energy on defense. Energy, he doesn't need to score, but generating a body to drive to the lane and maybe taking an open layup if it's there or being able to kick it out because I do think Westbrook is a pretty good passer when he's in control. So I think this is a pretty good move. It gives the Nuggets another option, creates depth in their bench, which they did not have in the postseason. Their bench was really not that good, and in the league actually last season, they were 25th in bench scoring for the regular season. And it wasn't pretty to watch. They were deep. They were top-heavy. If Murray had a bad game, it was all up to Jokic. If Jokic couldn't step up, they were basically screwed. So I do think adding another option, and I think really Russell Westbrook kind of knows that this might be his last rodeo, because if he doesn't produce on a team with Jokic, on a team with Murray, then who's going to trust him if he can't, succeed with them? So we'll have to see. But I do think this move, Russell Westbrook to the Nuggets, will prove itself as effective and as efficient because I do think he has a role there. I do think he plays definitely a vital role in creating depth, adding another bench piece, generating open shots, maybe generating open shots for himself, which we saw that he doesn't exactly have the ability to do anymore. A lot of his shots were more contested than they have been. So we'll have to wait and see how this turns out, but Russell Westbrook is expected to go to the Denver Nuggets when he clears waivers. We'll see how that pans out, but personally for me, I do think Russell Westbrook will be a good addition. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.